Welcome back, everybody, to the SQ1 Summer Split Playoffs. My name is CJ still, and I'm still here with Varus after an explosive Game 1, where Vuptrox, I think it would probably be fair to say against all expectations, took Game 1 against Orthrus Gaming in a back-and-forth battle. We're into Champ Select once again, and we have seen already Hello It's Anivia taken away, and Fair Sona taken away. Varus, do you think anything's going to change in this pick and ban?
I definitely think something has to change. I don't think you can allow the Xayah to go through, as she is first pick worthy. With how Chrissy performed on it, it's just such a good pickup for them. If they let it through, I think it's a big mistake by Orthrus. And we're seeing how Vuptrox can actually deal with the pressure what Orthrus put out. They dealt with it slowly, but they got away around it eventually. It was slow and methodical. They did make some mistakes with overextending, and we do see the Xayah taken away. It's not really a surprise at all.
Yeah, it was the early game that very much went in Vuptrox's favor, but then it was really Kaijak's plays and objective control, I feel, that brought them back into that one. Great picks, great controlling the map, just getting them that counter advantage, that quick Baron they pulled off really early on in the game. Really lovely to see that Kajak is having a strong performance, and Varti as well on the other side of the jungle, having an absolutely stellar one himself, maybe a little slower, not quite as active all the time, but still very, very good, as now we've seen Silas taken away, and the Nunu, so Varti is not going to get one of his own signature picks yet.
So what I want to see from Orthrus, I want to see them put Kajak on something like a Jarvan, a Rek'Sai, something with constant early game pressure. We do see Sejuani picked up for Varte, which is one of his most played. Not really a surprise, especially current team play meta. Sedge is just very high priority. But I do want to see Kajak on something very proactive. We do have Rengar coming back into the mid lane for this game, so we might see a more assassin-based pick. And we see the Mordekaiser taken away.
Yeah, so Black Eater taking that one for himself this time, and Kajak choosing to go back onto that Elise. He did have a lot of success with it last game. It is interesting to see that Varte has picked up the Sejuani instantly. That was banned last game, but as soon as they replaced the Sejuani ban with the Xayah ban, he instantly locks that one in. Very comfortable, as you said. And this is a potential threat of Vuptrox's champ selects. They have a lot of target bans that you just have to lay down, or they will take it, and you've got to believe they will perform on them.
And they're actually picking up some very good power picks. With Xayah off the table, Kaiser is open to more better matchups. And we see the Urgot coming through into the Mordekaiser. I don't think he gets played in mid lane anymore. At least I do highly disagree with it. If it gets played in mid, I don't think it's that good anymore compared to top lane. I do think it's a very good matchup for Mord, actually. Not Mord, sorry. Urgot. Because he's able to actually sustain through that damage, especially when he hits the level 9 mark. The only opportunity Mordekaiser has is the early few levels and then late game. Before that, Urgot really does take over in this matchup, and he will really start to bully this Mordekaiser out of lane.
Yeah, and Endorser, we've seen this guy play Urgot before. He is no stranger to this champion. Svlaki Eater had a very strong lane himself in what was undoubtedly a good matchup for him on that Pantheon. But now the tables are flipped. We'll need to see how he fares against a negative matchup against this Urgot for Endorser, as the bans are now coming through once again. It is the Vlad banned away first for the side of Orthrus Gaming after they've picked up Qiyana in that mid lane. A classic pick for Rengar.
Yeah, it's no surprise they're throwing him onto the strong assassin pick, and with Qiyana being so strong right about now, the nerfs are so hit and miss with Qiyana because they're touching her in the wrong places with the nerfs, because they need to nerf that ultimate. The ultimate does a lot of the damage, and with her able to reset the Q, it's so hard to actually deal with her when she hits level 6. She's very good at harassing in lane, and she's very sustainable without even dying because she's such a slippery target.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky for Hello It's Anivia to deal with that one. Their pick's still available. The bans are now coming through, and the last ban for OG did go against Lepiggy's Thresh. So from the pool they now have, they can pick whatever they want for this mid lane matchup going into this Qiyana, as they took away Fair's Lucian as well. This has probably been his most played champion in the league so far. He does tend to default to the Lucian, and we saw him have a decent effort on it in terms of his team play mid and late game, though of course the lane was a bit of a shocker for him in that matchup.
think it's very smart to take away Lucian because it just removes a lot more of the Premier AD carries left on the table. I do think Kai'Sa, Lucian, and Xayah are up there for like some of the best picks in current meta. There's also Ezreal, who I think is very good, but I don't think that will come through for Fair, as it doesn't really suit the team comp, but it's still on the table, so it's still a possibility.
Probably not with the Nautilus, likely taking it away from the classic Kai'Sa matchup, which they were threatening there. It fits into Lepiggy's style. He is hovering that Alistar again once again. He did play that last game. Very strong in that champion as well. He really loves these engagers. We saw them took the Thresh away, they took the Nautilus away by picking it, and now he's gone back to that Alistar with the Kai'Sa. So great CC, great options, a lot of good damage off that one for this bot lane, and now they're hovering over the Syndra. They might just let Anivia take that run back in the mid lane with the same champion.
It wouldn't be a surprise if Syndra's picked up here. It was a very good performance. He did receive a lot of pressure coming into this lane. He was under a lot of harass from both Fury and Kai'Jack, but he did keep up. Like, no matter what happened, he kept up and didn't fall behind. So it's not really surprising he's going to default to Syndra again because it was very reliable.
Yeah, it's an understandable choice by them to take this one. I think that Kai'Sa's a really nice pick for Chrissy. I really think that you can play it in a similar style to the Xayah, in that you can be defensive for it if you want. Plus, the Kai'Sa build now, the predominant one, that does go Mana Moon first. It's so gold efficient early on because you just get a nice early buy with respectable strength. So I think Chrissy's really got to set himself up for success, or rather the team has set him up for success, as it is going to be the Ezreal for Fair. They've picked a really strong AD carry, but you said that you feel like it maybe doesn't fit that well into their team?
Yeah, I feel like Fair is more of a high aggression sort of player. I would have liked to see him more on either like a Tristana or a Varus. I feel like that suits him a lot better than Ezreal. But Ezreal's strong nonetheless. Like I said, he is a Premier AD carry currently. I do think he is good. I just think they'd be better on something far more aggressive and a bit more lane pressure. Because we've seen what happened when Chrissy was able to just farm up. If this lane just goes a farm fest, I feel like it favours Vuptrox.
Yeah, it seems like Vuptrox, they've picked a very similar team to last game. It seems like they've given Endorser something decent in the top lane that can go out on his own to split push to try and win those tight battles, maybe even take a 1v2 if he's ahead. And they've got Varte on strong engage, same champion in mid and support, and then a similar kind of ADC that you can play quite similarly in that bottom lane. So I feel like Vuptrox, they've stuck with what they know. They did pick up that win. They pushed away Orthrus Gaming when everything seemed to be going against them, and they managed to pick up that win. Whereas now Orthrus, they subbed in their main mid laner Rengar, they've picked up an assassin, they've got themselves a different top laner, and they've really shaken up their bot lane dynamic with this Ezreal instead of a Lucian. So, do you think the Orthrus, if they're moving in the right direction, do you think this is going to have a better chance against what is essentially the same team comp from Vuptrox?
I do think it's going to have a better chance, mainly due to Rengar coming in with an assassin pick. Taking nothing away from Crocomux, he had a good series, but the way Qiyana is played is so volatile with the way Orthrus Gaming plays. They play around vision, and they played very good around vision. When Qiyana's in Fog of War, one AD carry steps forward, one mid laner steps forward, they're gone. Bye. See ya. Yeah. Qiyana, things happen. And with this champion being so volatile, I do see like 4-man ganks happen, 4-man dives into bot lane, and what can you actually do when you're getting 4-man dive? Alistar can press his ult, but Kai'Sa's still the main target. She's going to be the one-shotted.
Yeah, the Qiyana can be somewhat frustrating to play against, we shall say. Rengar's had some amazing performances on it, and we did see them moving together a lot last game. They were the team, Orthrus were grouping up as a 4, Kai'Jack leading that spearhead into the enemy jungle, and if you've got someone like Qiyana backing you up, knocking that supreme display of talent up, they could be some explosions, shall we say, coming through the side of Vuptrox. I think that Hello It's Anivia might have a lot more pressure on his hands this game. If we just take a look down to the bot lane as well, once again, we've got Kai'Sa, Alistar versus Ezreal, Nautilus. You said that you don't feel the Ezreal really fits into this one with that Nautilus. Do you think that this lane is going to go similarly to last time, i.e. Chrissy and Lepiggy really taking control of it? Or do you think Fair is going to be able to use that extra mobility to play a little safer and maybe keep his head above water?
I still think this highly favors Vuptrox, honestly. I feel like Kai'Sa is very good into Ezreal overall. You're able to actually keep up with him in scaling, you're able to actually stay on top of him, it just gets a bit harder later in team fights because he gets a little bit more freedom. But in terms of laning phase, I highly favor this Vuptrox bot lane. I do think they're very smart picks. There's no reason not to pick the Alistar again with how well the Piggy performed, and he found some really good engages. So I do think it heavily favors them. And I did talk about 4-1 dives on the bot lane for Orthrus, but if you decide of Vuptrox, that's still very easy for you to do as well. You have an Alistar, you have a SQ1, you have 2 behemoths that actually tank towers for like 9 years. So I want to see them do that themselves.
Yeah, we will be into the game very shortly. We will have a short delay, as you know, for spectator mode. Just going to go onto this beautiful, this stunning wait screen for you guys. Quick shout out to JoePhysics20s for the extra production. Obviously, we've had a couple of hiccups coming into this one, but very quick fixes from him. Huge props, and it gets us to lets us show off these games in huge jumps in quality for you guys to really present these teams in the lights they should be presented, because these are some really, really strong teams we have. We've said this so many times now that just coming into the summer split, just that hike up, I think, in talent and strength and commitment that the top teams have to this league, they're really, really shining, and it's great to see teams like Orthrus Gaming, Vuptrox Academy, CBA actually on the other side, and Fuzzy Esports coming in and really doing us proud and doing themselves proud, I think.
Yeah, you've definitely seen a lot of teams step up, especially in terms of skill. Compared to last split, just teams have looked so much stronger. There's been so much more about teams this split. But it's not said, oh yeah, this is going to be a 3-0, this is going to be an easy 1-0 for this team. There's nothing been able to say that this team's definitely going to win. And I think that's been the main point of the split, that anyone can beat anyone.
Exactly. Orthrus Gaming, the favorites coming in here. Vuptrox Academy taking win, and now another strong draft by them going up against Orthrus. It's gonna be tough for them to break into this one. We need to see how that early game goes. As you said, Kaijak's gonna be hugely important. Varte is going to be hugely important. These junglers have been very strong leaders so far for their team. Varte obviously new to Vuptrox Academy, and Kaijak an old hat for Orthrus Gaming. The dynamic is very interesting to see, and the laners clashing as well. It's great to see such an even matchup coming into this one, despite what we might have thought going in, as we are getting onto the Rift now for this Game 2 of this first semi-final, Orthrus Gaming versus Vuptrox Academy, and looks like Orthrus Gaming, they're grouped up very tightly, but they're going to be spotted out by Anivia. No hook thrown by Fury. The range was maybe just a hair's breadth too far, and that is a very good job by them to spot that early aggression. That could have been disastrous early on.
Definitely could have been disaster. And there's just going to be so much aggression in this series, and this is what I like to see. Both teams are not going to put their foot down and just sit back. They both want to be as aggressive as possible, and we've seen that from both junglers. Both Kaijak and Varte were just so aggressive, and they were both trying to match each other at every point of this game. And I think we're just going to see the exact same come through for this game. We're going to see a lot of ganks come through from Kaijak, especially in the early game. He will be very proactive, and you're just going to see Varte try to mirror him if he can.
Exactly. We have seen relatively even warding go down. A couple of skill shots thrown back and forth. Fair fishing for those slice sacks of gold. Using Kleptomancy early on isn't going to find one, so they are going to not get any kind of advantage going into this. Top lane's going to be nice and standard, and bot lane, despite getting in each other's faces a little, they are going to go back to normal lane assignments. It's going to fall to Kaijak and Varte to probably give us that first explosion of violence, despite the fact that maybe Fury and Lapiggy, they've got tools of their own. They could maybe look for a level 2. If this bot lane turns into that kind of fight at level 2, who do you think is actually going to get the advantage there?
I still think it favors Vuptrox, especially with how explosive Kai'Sa's damage when someone is isolated. It does give them a stack of Kai'Sa's passive when they get CC'd as well. So if they do get this level 2, I think it highly favors them, especially with how explosive the damage can be from them. Ezreal's level 2 is kind of just... it's there, but it doesn't do much compared to Kai'Sa's level 2.
Yeah, it looks like they have secured that level first. Quick W comes out, chunking down fair, and Black Eater has actually hit his level 2 first in top lane. He's pushing Endorso away from that wave, using that whirl of steel around himself there. Level 2 secured for bot lane as well. No explosions happening yet. As now Rengar, you can see, hello, it's Anivia, sitting nice and far back. Doesn't want to play any kind of games with Rengar early on. Do you think we're going to see kills in the mid lane, like 1v1 solo kills or gank kills? Or is it going to be Rengar roaming with this jungler to try and secure that advantage?
Oh, for sure we're going to see 1v1 kills.
Ooh, for sure.
In the
Oh,
middle.
hang on a second. Here comes a flash in. Not 1v1. Flashes are burnt left, right, and center. Anivia once again escaping the pressure that he has become so used to in this series. And now, overall, it's a flash burn for each mid laner and Kaijack to boot. So Anivia gets away with that one with his life.
So just before you even touched upon that, is you literally seen how much damage Syndra did put out in the early game.
Yeah.
Did abuse his Kiana as much as possible. And I want to hit you with some Kiana wisdom, but before that...
Wait, he's going in. There's no flash, but the Ignite's already down. Is he just dead? The ticks are coming down. He's gonna live on a sliver. The potion keeps him alive. You said it might be a 1v1 kill, and frankly, I think Rengar thought so too. Varte coming in to push that Chiana away, but that's getting pretty spicy in this mid lane already.
Just the difference of one auto attack there. And before this, I even wanted to hit you with some Kiana wisdom. I'm very happy to see that you started longsword, and not enough Kiana players do this. A lot of them just go corrupting, but starting early longsword gets you towards either a serrated Dirk or a Tiamat earlier. And that is so important on this champion because her wave clear is abysmal. It is abysmal, it's terrible. And when you get to these power spikes a lot quicker by starting longsword, it helps you so much more, and you actually have a lot more lane presence with longsword than you do corrupting. And we've seen that with the damage coming through, nearly securing a solo kill.
Yeah, looks like Rengar noticed, well, one longsword wasn't enough. Let's make it 3 longswords. Comes back, buys a couple more, and now looks like Anivia might have to be a little bit scared going into this one. CS is still relatively even, it must be said. The TP keeping Syndra nice and topped up in that regard. So Rengar is going to be threatening, I imagine, especially once that Ignite comes up.
He definitely will be, and you see the way he's trying to play this wave now. He's trying to play it on the edge of minions at every point he can, and that's constantly how he's going to be playing on this wave. He's going to be playing to whatever side his jungler's on, so either towards top side or bot side, and he'll be playing on the edge of the wave because you're just so easy to dash towards her and get out of full combo.
You can see throwing just clears out an entire backline of minion wave just with those 2 swords. That wave clear not looking quite as bad once you get that early items in there. But now, it must be said, Anivia is still doing fine. We saw this last game, we saw them under pressure, and they did not crack. So far, they have not cracked yet either, though it has been even tighter than normal. Kaijack returning to the mid lane as well, though Anivia positioning onto that bottom side maybe sniffs it out. Got an early Infernal Drake as well. I feel like this is something that OG really wants to take control of.
Yeah, and I feel like with their last games, objective control, they'll do the exact same. We do see a gank coming in through the mid lane.
Flashing, they've got him, they've rooted him up, they've caught them, and it's a first blood onto Rengar. Even with the ward that Fury was on, it was not enough. And see, Black Eater's actually still bullying Endorser in that top lane as well while this is all happening. But yeah, how does that happen? Here comes the replay.
Just flashes over, sees that he's got no summoners, able to actually punish the Syndra, knowing that she's got no flash, that this will actually work if the hook lands. And it does, and it's perfect case scenario, Kiana has first blood. This is a scary champion when she gets rolling, and a kill is a good way to go about that.
Yeah, rolling is definitely what's going on right now for Rengar. 49 CS, first blood gold as well. You've got to imagine that lethality's on deck quick, sharp, as now we've seen them go back to that Orthrus Gaming vision line. They're getting it into their bottom side. They're taking control of this river. Looks like the dragon might be in their sights. As if we just take a quick check into top lane, we cut back and we see Endorser getting bullied by Suvlaki quite a lot, but it's not actually fallen that far down in CS.
Yeah, but this falls back to like what we talked about. The early game does heavily favor Mordekaiser in this matchup, and we see that coming through. But as soon as Urgot gets his Black Cleaver, things will start to swing more in his direction, and he'll be able to bully a lot harder, especially at the level 9 mark where Urgot starts to shine. His mid game is very, very good, and when he gets to that stage, it's going to be a lot harder for him to deal with. He is keeping up in CS well, which is very impressive to actually be doing with how much we've seen him getting bullied in trades.
Yeah, we have seen overall, this early game has gone in Orthrus Gaming's favor, as opposed to last time, off the back of admittedly a little bit of a scuppered dive onto Endorser in that top lane. OG now, they have taken control, and with mid lane and bot lane, pretty comfortable I would say right now. Fair can play pretty safe, he doesn't have to get caught out as long as he keeps his wits about him. And then you've got mid lane Rengar taking control of that one through the pressure they're giving to him, and Suvlaki are doing a nice job as well. This maybe could just let Orthrus Gaming slowly extend the lead. I'm not sure if Vuptrox Gaming, do you think they'll be able to try and come back into this one, or do you think they really need to try and keep it even right now?
They really do need to keep it even, I think. And we do see a
the
play
ult
being made.
comes down. TP
There's
as
a
well.
teleport.
See Black Eater's coming in. Varte quick shot. That one's been used. Can't get slowed, gets put into the realm of death from Slaki. He's just going under that tower. He wants to force something. He's going to come out of it before too long, gets stunned up, and now the force engage happens. The ultimate from Ezreal comes over, and Varte and Lebiggy just get mashed in that center. They get them baited in nice and easily, and now they're going to rotate onto this Infernal Dragon with no threat at all.
Such a massive pull by that Mordekaiser, pulling them all into that Ezreal ultimate. And it was just such decimation there. They actually just got completely destroyed as soon as it hit. We see the bait. They actually wanted this fight. It all comes through and the TP is just there to flank them instantly. And instantly they knew this wasn't their fight. They start backing off as much as they can. Mordekaiser's trying to force as hard as possible. Even takes the tower shot for his trade. And SQ1 tries trading something back, but the massive pull into the Ezreal ultimate just absolutely obliterates them. And they actually got the Infernal Dragon off this too.
It's just so hard to see a Mordekaiser basically walking under your tower, daring you to fight and going, no, we can't look at him, we can't do it. And they crumble under that pressure, they take it, and they just get wiped out. That is now an even bigger advantage into OG's pocket. They've got the dragon, they've got the kills, they've absolutely got the pressure in this game, because once again, Anivia, he's got to dodge hooks, cocoons, he's just got to be scared of Rengar anyway. This is just such a rough mid lane for this guy.
Definitely a rough one, and Varte is coming in to try actually give him some safety, but there's going to be no relentless pressure. See, Kajak will be trying to hit this mid lane. He is lurking around as much as he can, clearing out vision, but he's jumped on right about now.
Hang on, the repel comes in, he's going to come down straight into it, a quick flash away is going to get him out of walks away, a dicey one for Kajak there, but nothing lost in the end.
Nothing lost at all. I wanted to actually touch upon this bot lane when you mentioned it, because I do actually like that Kaiser's opting towards the tier build, but the game needs to keep going at the slow pace what they had at the beginning. If they can keep that pace, it will favour them a lot more, and it does go really well for them. If they can keep the pace of what they did in game 1, I do think this still favours them, despite Kiana being very big right now. So if they can keep it like this, it's going really well for them.
Do you feel like Kiana, is this a better scaling option for the side of OG and in their team comp in general? They do seem to have upgraded their comp in that specific regard, and maybe this will let them have more success in these late game fights when they go long, when they're dealing with Endorser just on that side, when they have to deal with Chrissy. Now that they've got an Ezreal and a Chiana who scale up a little better, this could spell victory for them, as this 2v1 in top lane is likely to spell victory. Kajak just waiting patiently for him to come out of the realm of death. See, Black Eater barely even needs the assistance. And that's another kill in this top lane. So Black Eater picks up this Mordekaiser, and he's dominating the lane.
He's completely dominating this lane, and I did talk about Urgot coming back into this matchup when he gets Cleaver, but at this rate, I don't think he can do much at all. We see how much Mord is actually just completely obliterating him in trades, and it's just heavily favouring him. And the thing with the comp, what you was mentioning, I do think the Kiana is just a much better upgrade for their team, because when you have a Xerath, you rely a lot more around poke. Sure, the poke was landing at some stages, but at some stages it wasn't. Whereas Kiana's going to be there to actually join the fight from range with her display of talent, hitting a wall with the ultimate, or she's going to be there to just one-shot someone before there's going to be any reaction of summoners or any defense coming through for Vuptrox.
We could currently see, oh, the come over the, not quite going to land. Fair did have full vision of it, so it's understandable it didn't get hit, but it was still a good attempt by Varte, it must be said. Doesn't actually lose anything, but it is a close one there. Now the Herald's been dropped mid lane. They're going to get some tasty plates on this one. We've seen Kajak once again take so much control of objectives. If you just look at the scorelines of the junglers, he's 0-4 and up in CS, and he's got that mid lane getting pushed down by the Rift Herald that he's solo secured. Varte, sometimes he's just not, seems like he's not able to have the same impact that he had last game, where he was at least able to find counter kills in these lanes.
Kajak has just been absolutely immaculate with his ejector control, and you see the vision score difference, 7 to 21, and that just shows Kajak has been constantly in Varte's jungle and denying him as much as he can.
Fury now forced the dredge line away, a nice max. not going to let him follow. It's TP from Endorser forcing them away. They were trying to catch him out, and now they're going for a dive mid lane. Kajak, though, this looks like it might be a repeat of game 1. He is going incredibly low. The Q it's not quite timed right. The W misses as well, and now Rengar's finishing him off with a supreme display of talent. Flashes over that wall on Varte. Now, can he clean up this Rengar? There's 2 kills in there. It'll be a decent shutdown to pick up. The Blast Cone gets him around the corner, but he's going to walk straight back into that pig. Dodges the Q, dodges through them, and now the invisibility comes in. What a cool champion this is. Gets over the wall. Varte flashes him to try and finish off Fury. Just drops the ultimate and just kind of walks away. Doesn't want to give full commitment to help that Shyana, who is finally going to go down.
You can see exactly how slippery this champion is. Starts to sound like you've had a fun experience with Kiana yourself, CJ.
We've all had one.
And you see the double stealth coming through, actually delaying so much time on this pick. They do kill her eventually, but she bought so much time from them that they're able to actually stop them pressuring this dragon as easily.
Yeah, and this would be a second dragon on OG. They want to fight Vuptrox. They know they have to secure one for their own sake. It's a 3 versus 4. It's going to be a tough one for OG to take. Piggy away that dragon. Hell goes back in, and he doesn't quite get it. The smite down to 11. Kajak's going to be left in that stopwatch. The Ezreal comes through, gets some people pretty low, wants to keep chunking out this damage. The Piggy's forced to run away. Fair's throwing out these Mystic shots. E's over, misses the next one, but the W will connect, and the following auto attack to finish off at least a kill in their favor. And now they are going to return to their lanes, but that is at least the Infernal Drake picked up by Vuptrox.
Who needs a smite when you got an Urgot? Urgot there to secure it at the right place, the right time.
Exactly.
Miss smite didn't matter. Urgot picks up the dragon. It's actually so important that he did, because 2 dragons go in the side of Orthrus when they're currently kind of dominating still, I would say, with how well Kiana and Mordekaiser are both doing in this game. Kajak is just keeping this pressure on this game as much as he can. And we see it coming through.
Ooh, the ultimate comes up for Fair, and a quick flash W just wipes. That was just quick as you like, and now Rengar is coming to try and get something back. Chrissy, he's used the ultimate. He does have the flash still. Rengar comes in with hard content. Gets that Q. The ultimate is not going to connect. Can't shove him to the wall. Kajak is going to delay Piggy. But overall, Chrissy gets out of that one. Just loses the flash.
Such an impressive flash by Chrissy. Chrissy's able to actually dodge the supreme display of talent, and that's the difference between him living or dying there. And he does actually get away with his life after getting a solo kill. Chrissy is doing what Chrissy did in game 1. He's just showing he can actually bully every time Fair is alone. Every time Fair is alone, he's forced on.
Speaking of alone, Fury here finds himself in a 1 lane. Watches him go away, but actually, he gets away! A great dredge line, and the level, it's a level 2 ultimate from Anivia, still isn't able to break through the Nautilus.
Nautilus very tanky at this point, and he's not dropping at all. He has the Merc Treads to actually save him. Don't think that's entirely the difference between him living and dying. I think they kind of left the kill towards Syndra, hoping that the ultimate would actually secure the kill, but it doesn't, and he's able to get away with the dredge line.
Syndra really badly needs some gold at this point. 0-2 on 1, respectable CS, but you can see only has a lost chapter and a 0-stack Dark Seal in terms of bringing power to the table. It's really not been a good time for Hello It's Anivia, while Rengar is making some aggressive plays across the map, has gotten over 700 gold ahead of his lane partner. We'll need to see what he chooses to do with that though. Now that we've seen Rengar get that first 1.5 items on, actually hang on a second, Kajak's caught Endorser out. Where have we seen this story before? That flash does come out and save him. Varte was waiting in the wings, but that's not a good sign if we're still seeing Endorser getting caught out on sidelines.
It's not a good sign at all, especially when we just seen the gold graph not long ago. There was a 2k gold lead for this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is already to the stage of being unstoppable. He is doing what Endorser did last game, but faster. He's at this stage where if you send 1 person to him, they're going to die. If you send 2 persons to him, they're going to die. He's already at the stage where he's going to be unkillable. And now you have Kiana just playing around dark zones of vision. She's waiting for anyone to come to this wave. And just seeing who's going to take the bait.
Chrissy might eventually did walk out. Rengar didn't want to lose that whole wave, doing the Krugs, accidentally saving Chrissy's life. Maybe actually went there because he didn't have any vision, didn't want to move up to that wave. However, you like to slice it, Chrissy does live there. And that's a mistake that we saw Fair make last game. We saw Fair move up aggressively to get that vision, to get the the CS where it was not safe to do so. Chrissy, however, once again, this game playing with great restraint and great skill, 2-0-0 with strong CS as well in this Kai'Sa. Looks like set up for another game where Chrissy could be the tipping point in Vuptrox's favor.
I definitely think he's the main point of focus, and we can see why. We can see why from his performance in Game 1, and we can see why from him picking up the solo kill, what he did onto Fair. And he's going to be the main talking point of Vuptrox. Can he carry this entire game? Because right now, he is the only member what I actually think is relevant. Urgot is too far behind to even deal with Mordekaiser, and Syndra doesn't even have a full item yet. She picked up a Seekers. She's that scared of this Qiyana. She's actually so far behind in this matchup right about now.
I mean, you say she's that scared of Qiyana. Should she not be that scared of this Qiyana? Is it not still probably the right call to get the early Zhonyas here?
It is the right call, but also delaying the Ludens is delaying a lot of power on the Syndra. So
the Duskblade just came in for Qiyana as well. That has got to be terrifying now. With the extra auto attack proc, anyone who meets this Qiyana in the jungle is going to be fearing for their lives, as now we have another dragon coming up shortly, and the teams are coming back through. A TP is actually coming in from Bear. He wants to join in as soon as possible. Kai'Sa goes out of the
flank as well.
Oh, he does. Suvlaki Eater is actually behind now. Syndra's on that side as well. Suvlaki could get caught in a 1v5. Flashes in. He forces this one, and Barte's ult goes way wide. Chrissy's now caught up in the stopwatch. Left all alone. The ultimate to try and get away. Cannot actually quite escape. He's caught in the realm of death. And there's the supreme display of talent, knocking down that Kai'Sa. And now this fight is started in earnest. Lepiggy's been caught up in the 1v5. The ultimate not going to do enough to save them. Without Chrissy to pump that damage out, there's just no way they can win it. A flash forward from Rengar does get pushed away by Endorser, throwing away with the, I forget what it's called something completely ridiculous, like Disdain or something like that. And they are going to actually rotate back to this third Infernal Drake. What a great fight by OG, and what a powerful reward.
Start to think, is it Talon or is it just another Veigar button? It's starting to look like a one-shot button like Syndra and Veigar. She's so strong at this point that they could just force any fight on repeat, and I think that's all they need to do. It was a perfect flank for Suvlaki. He's able to actually just come around the back, take Chrissy out of the fight entirely. He's the most important member on that team. Him out of the fight means what can they do? Nothing. Nothing at all. And they're able to take the fight. They take the dragon. What's left for them to do?
Potentially what's left for them to do is for Suvlaki to get caught up in this top lane. Fair help out. Turned around. Dorso just gets wiped out by Fair. Has the red buff on deck, and Suvlaki Eater is so tanky. Fair's going in aggressively again. It's a double kill for this Ezreal. Now Chrissy and Lepiggy, they're forced back behind their top lane inner. There's nothing they can do. Fair, after being so down in game 1, he's finally in a position where his aggressive style can come to fruition.
And we see how strong this Mordekaiser is. We talked about it. We talked about how strong he was and how he could be able to even 1v2. We've seen the 1v2. Fair came to just clean up what was ever left. The decimate damage is huge right about now. And we see how much it came through in that fight. He's just able to sustain whatever damage they put onto him.
Perfect Ezreal ult. Catches all 3 of them with that chunk, and Rengar's going in for the 1v. But stuns all of them, gets by way of the Piggy. That's a quick crit to clean up the Rengar. What else can he do? He goes in, gets another on the Kai'Sa. But now the ultimate's going to get, he gets a triple kill for Rengar. Walks away with a sliver. That is just insane. And the Baron goes over to OG.
I don't think there's even a lot Vuptrox can do right about now. You've seen how Rengar played around that vision. He has a sweeper, he has a Duskblade, he was lurking towards his side, he has his sweeper on. Seen all 3 of them for his perfect ult. Gets out all 3 of them, just lined up for him. Chrissy jumps over, hopeful to actually take him down, not understanding how much damage this Qiyana is actually going to put out, and actually just gets one shot.
Just waits out the shield and instantly clocks him with another Q, and it's a triple for this Qiyana. Moves to 5, 1, and 2. These 2 items are just doing more than enough to wipe through these carries for the side of Vuptrox. The Baron now has been picked up by another great call by Kai'Jack, and now the pressure is so heavily in their favor. They've got the vision they can get right now. They can one-shot almost anyone on the enemy team. They can siege up for free. This is looking so tough for Vuptrox to come back into.
If you're side of Vuptrox right now, this is what you need to be doing. You need to be running down this Qiyana. You need to pick her off. If you pick Qiyana off, you might have a chance of being able to take a team fight. But right now, that's literally your saving grace. That's the only thing you can do. If they siege against you, you're going to get poked out by Ezreal. If you get poked out, Kiana's going to rotate. Kiana rotates, you're dead.
Oh, here comes Syndra. Oh, she came out to the brush. Didn't want to wait for that one. Grabbed the wave instead of potentially waiting to beat up Anivia. Who's to say if that would have worked out? But at the very least, we can get that wave pushed in with the Baron buff. Something that I've noticed in Ezreal's inventory, he's picked up an Executioner's Calling after that third item. You think this is an appropriate time for this, or what's the value that he's getting out of this item?
Mainly it's going to stop any healing from the Alistar, from the passive, and any healing from Urgot. It's kind of just reliable right now because Ezreal didn't really have much else to pick up. He has his Bork, he's got his Mirror Mana, he's got his Iceborne. He's already out of massive power spike as it is, so he's just building towards his Last Whisper, and we already seen his damage. His damage is already massive as it is, so it doesn't really matter too much that he's picked it up. It's just, why not at this point? Because he can.
Why not? Why not? I mean, you've got 3 waves pushing in with Baron buffs. You've got a 5-1 Chiana who's just one-shotting everybody. They're pushing in so easily right now using this Baron. There's less than a minute left on the clock, but the W from Fair is doing these nice fat chunks. But now they found an engage. They've actually got onto Fair. Lapiggy's looking to follow it up. He has been knocked up. He doesn't have the E. He's going to get shut down instantly. That is finally a pick in their favor. They can now hopefully push off OG. They're looking to catch maybe Black Eater. He's getting away nice and sharpish. And now OG, they've reset. They've walked back a little bit. But Fair, he's got wiped out.
So it's a great pick by Vuptrox. They've seen him overextend, and he used his E, but still got caught by Sejuani's ultimate. And they didn't want to stop action here yet.
Yeah, here comes that knock up onto Black Eater. It's a 4v5, but he's winning. And he walks away. And now his team is there to support him. Black Eater just with no fear in the face of that engage. Maybe they could have taken it, but clearly they want to maybe try again. They're throwing out more stuns, but they're just not confident enough walking into this Mordekaiser.
So what's important in the inventories right about now, Chrissy has a QSS. He doesn't want to get ulted by this Mordekaiser anymore. And if he takes that off, that's important because he's actually going to be able to be in these team fights. He's actually going to be able to put some impact down. With him having this, it's so important for Vuptrox. And maybe they can actually claw back some of this game.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can find a decent fight. Another dragon has just spawned. It is a Cloud. We've had our regulation free Infernals so far in this game, and they have gone straight onto it. OG gonna take this one as easy as that. Vuptrox, no contest to be seen. They just don't have the pressure on the map. They're gonna go back to their waves. They've set up some decent vision, but at this point, do you look for a 5v5? Do you look for a pick? They managed to pick off the Ezreal, and that was pretty good, but still, Black Eater was able to just 1v5 in that top lane. How do they get back into this game? Are items going to solve the problem?
The main thing is just picks. Like that Ezreal stepping up there, that's what they need to do. Ezreal does have a QSS now, but he's still going to be a target. If it still hits and he doesn't QSS fast enough, he can still be collapsed upon. He can still be Alistar comboed. There's still a lot to actually follow up in time if they actually catch him, especially with Kai'Sa being able to jump in with a Killer Instinct too. There's just a lot of good follow-up if they do catch someone with one of these ultimates or combinations of abilities.
Yeah, we saw what happens to Fair when he gets overexcited. There, Fury was waiting to support. Nothing gonna come of that one. But yeah, we saw Fair when he's 2-5-2 and just flashing over a wall 1v3 to try and attack this Syndra. Now that he's actually ahead in this game, maybe he will get too over-aggressive. We did see him get caught out, but he is on this Ezreal. That's got to be a bonus for him. He's got the TP to get back in. He's got his flash up. He's got that Arcane Shift. It's going to be so tough for them to actually punish him on this champion, as now they're once again just splitting these waves, pushing in them one by one, and they're going to get these last outer tower, you've got to imagine, in this bot lane. As now, they've got a stun onto Rengar. They've actually caught him up. They've got to kill him. They've destroyed the Chiana. Black Eater now back to this 1v1 in which he is so 1v5, I should say, and he's winning it again. The flash away comes out from Barte. He's just going to get knocked away. Endorser is flashed over a wall into the wrong side of town. Fury has finally been shut off and picked off and shut down, but it is a 1-for-2 in the favor of Vuptrox, it must be said. But once again, not that much to be gained off what was another catch by them.
See, because there's no other QSS, Sejuani gets taken straight into the death room. We'll get a perfect catch on Kiana. She dies. That's fine. That's great. That's exactly what they need. Sejuani being in the death row, not really a lot you can do. You can just see her getting whacked around and just shut down by Savaki, and there's nothing else to come off that. What can you do other than that? We have Fury being taken down, which is another great moment for Vuptrox. but you do need to pick up QSS. There's a lot of members what can just be taken out of the fight. And with Sejuani not having any impact after she's thrown her ultimate, what else can you have her do? She's just going to be free food for Mordekaiser.
It looked like Chrissy's auto attacks were hitting a lot of minions. That many actually has finally completed a third item, so the power is going to be increasing, but there's still not a huge amount of actual raw AD and AP onto this Kai'Sa because of that QSS, because the Merman build just finally at least transformed. So it's going to be getting there, but Chrissy, we need to see them have more impact now. Once again, a good lane by this amazing player, but since then, kind of fell off the map. Haven't really seen that much out of this Kai'Sa.
You've seen how defensive he's had to build this game.
Yeah.
He has to play a lot more scared than how he did on the Xayah, and it's understandable. It's understandable why he has to play like this with how big Qiyana is and Mordekaiser. There's so many good threats on the table that you have to play so defensive. He's having a good game, but there's not a lot he can actually do in these fights.
Yeah, we see once again OG are returning to this Baron dance they played so well for most of last game, and now they're the ones with the Mordekaisers into Black Eater, and this one is a lot stronger. This isn't a case where you can just send Kaijak in the mid laner to go and kill the Mordekaiser and walk back to what you were doing. This guy is going to take any one or two members that you throw at him easy in that 1v2, you've got to believe. So there's so much more pressure here, plus the TP is there. We know that Kaijak loves to play around these Baron plays. I think the Orthrus, they're just going to try and exploit this, and Vuptrox, they're going to be hard-pressed to play around it.
Yeah, they are, and they're going to have to play around this vision game, which Orthrus Gaming plays so well, and they've got a pick right now.
Here comes the engage, the ultimate for Nautilus comes through, they're going to try and finish Arta. Comes out to stop them. Another ultimate through from Anivia. The supreme display of talent completely whiffs. Not that much talent on display at that point, but Suvlaki is coming in from the backline. He's got Chrissy in the Death Realm, actually pulls him in with the claw. This could be dicey, but now this is a 1v4 that maybe was a bit too much to fight off. Actually, he's getting them very low, and now here comes Fair to try and clean it up. The shutdown finally comes through. A nice redemption coming through by LaPiggy, but it is Hello, it's Anivia. He's been caught by Kaijak. This is going to be a little dicey, though. Doesn't want to get caught up. The flash over, a lot of buttons being pressed here, but Kaijak does at least manage to finish off the Syndra, make this a 1v1, but it's a 1,000 gold shutdown from Tsubaki. Rengar just happens to walk past and double kills the enemy bot lane by accident, then finally gets killed, and now Fair and Fury, they're coming in, burning through these remaining targets. That was looking so even, and so much like we had a game on our hands, Varus, and then suddenly Rengar just casually double kills.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it, but this is just Riot in a nutshell. They love building strong champions like this, and you see how strong Qiyana is, getting that double kill, sweeping up the team fight for her team, being able to take more off this. It looked disastrous. We get to the start of it. You see they take Chrissy into the Death Realm, which is the worst person because he QSS this, and Suvlaki actually goes down here, pulled in by Urgot, and you would think that would be over, but on the other side you have Anivia being caught, tries playing as well as possible with the Zhonya's, gets the stun out as well, forcing the flash. But too little too late, he's gone, he's dead. Qiyana coming across with a flank. He's able to actually get a dash, using the minions, and then uses his second part of his Q to hit both of them. Takes them down. On the other side you see Fair wasting away at the rest of their team, putting down as much aggression as possible. We talked about how he's an aggressive player, and he's showing that still even on an Ezreal.
That is absolutely destructive by Rengar there, cleaning up that bot lane that could have gone so well for Vuptrox at that stage. But now, once again, they end up losing more advantage. Look at the gold difference now. What is that? 12k? 13k gold at 31 minutes. We are going long here once again, but it looks like the Dragon is going to be in Orthrus Gaming sights once more. It's going to be a mountain. You've got to imagine this is going to help them out if they choose to push these lanes down. They've got the Baron in their favor. They actually managed to pick it up while we were watching that replay. They snuck it in classic Kaijak fashion, and now they've walked into this bot lane. They've got mid lane inhibitor down. They've got the Baron on deck. They've got the money. What's next? With
mid naturally pushing, you just see Qiyana trying to balance out the wave, and they're holding all bot vision control. They're all trying to move towards bot now, with the only thing being left to contest. And there's not a lot they can do with minions pushing in mid. They can just play around vision again, they can poke down, and just wait for minions to do the work in mid.
Here comes Rengar, pressuring onto Christy. He's getting aggressive with that Youmu's. Look at that! But now, they've actually caught him out. They managed to save carry. Supreme Display of Talent doesn't really do anything going around the inhibitor, and that's got to be a good opening for the side of Vuptrox. This could be their chance. A huge explosion of damage comes down onto Anivia. He is going to live. He's not going to live. Zubaki is going to decimate him. Now they've got a hook to follow up onto Lopegi. He is going down. They're flashing by Mordekaiser. He's in 1v3. He's just destroying, melting through them with their Swirl of Steel, and this has got to be OG surely taking this victory. They are just swarming over the base of Vuptrox. What started out as a death for them turned it into a clean ace 4v5. They're going to push in these towers, and OG emphatically are going to even up this series.
Just when it looked so good for Vuptrox getting the pick on Rengar, shutting down that Kiana, it got turned around by this Mordekaiser, and we see how important this Mordekaiser has been for both teams. Game 1, it had good impact. Game 2, it has good impact for Orthrus, and able to get that pick onto Syndra, just won them the fight. Mordekaiser's able to flash in and just tank their entire team and cause so much presence in their backline. And he was just sitting there melting away. We've got a replay now. You're going to see Kiana go over aggressive for the Kai'Sa. The idea was right. It looked perfect. But then the reaction play, able to actually CC her. Perfect timing by them. Then we see the overstep. Anivia caught out. Just going to wait for him to come out of the Zhonya's and just fall to his death. Straight after this point, we have a perfect hook. Mordekaiser just jumping into that backline and just going to decimate everyone.
You see so much damage coming out, and from Fair as well. He's pumping out Q after Q, doing so much work on this Ezreal. Bit of an unsung hero this game after turning around from game 1, but I think it's got to be Souvlaki Eater, as you say, that really took control of this one. Rengar had his flashy moments, Fair had flashy moments, but Souvlaki Eater just dominated that top lane, dominated the rest of the game after the fact. And that was just a huge performance from that. I feel like every game that goes past, we're going to pick up a new permaban in the next game.
I feel like there's 2 picks going to be highly contested now. There's still the Xayah, and there's still the Mordekaiser. Kiana is not going to get through bans. I can say that already.
Absolutely
that champion is not getting through bans. We've seen how much pressure it put onto the mid lane, and I don't think Anivia wants to play against that again, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, to be honest, who would want to play against that one? That was a rough one for sure. And now we are going to go to another break. We will be back in a few minutes' time with game 3 of this series, which is really heating up here. We've got a real one for you folks.